Okay, go.
Good morning. My name is Bob Stearns. I'm here with John Ottaviano, course superintendent, and we're going to tackle the interesting subject of rakes in bunkers, whether they should be inside or outside. And John, you've been here 25 years. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of rakes in and out of bunkers at Manchester Country Club?
Well, in 25 years, we have had a few seasons where we've left the rakes outside the bunkers, then we've gone to rakes inside the bunkers. We recently went back to rakes outside the bunkers, and now this year we're going back to rakes inside the bunkers again.
Okay, so that means we have to take all the stickers that say rakes outside of bunkers off the rakes. Is that correct?
Or we'll just put new decals over those.
Put new decals. Okay. We also have these rakes here, the ones with the curved handles, and those were designed specifically for what? They were designed for use of outside bunkers.
Well, use of outside bunkers so that this handle would stay above the ground so that a ball could still roll underneath it. And actually, they're also supposed to be for ease of use, so you don't have to bend quite so far using this with a longer handle.
So are these rakes going to go away and be replaced with other handles, or are we going to keep these?
We will keep some of these because, again, like when we were just discussing how 50% of the golf courses in the country probably leave their rakes in, 50 leave them out. I've had several people tell me that they love these rakes, and just as many people tell me that they don't like them. So we will have a mix of both styles.
Okay. So going forward, so Manchester Country Club and the Greens Committee and the Golf Committee have agreed that rakes are now going to be left inside the bunkers. And so just to talk a little bit about that, there, as John mentioned, there are about 50% of the courses in the country have the rakes inside the bunkers, and about 50% have them outside the bunkers. You'll notice if you watched the Masters recently, the rakes are where? Outside the bunkers. The USGA recommends outside the bunkers. Um, and there's a couple of reasons for that. And they feel that the probability of a ball being deflected with the rakes outside the bunker is less probable than it is inside the bunker. And so they make a recommendation, but again, that's only a recommendation. Do you have any thoughts on that, John?
Well, the first thought I would have would be my own personal preference if I was playing golf against someone. If I was playing you in a match and the ball was, the rake was outside and your ball came to lodge against the rake and kept it from going inside the bunker, I would be upset. I would think that you deserve to be in the bunker, even though bunker's called a hazard. I realize for the golf professionals, the majority of them, they would rather be there than outside the bunker. As far as maintenance goes, for us, it's much better if they're on the inside in the bunkers because then I don't have to worry about them getting run over by any of my machinery.
Right. So, from a maintenance standpoint, sometimes it's you still have to move the rakes whether they're outside the bunkers or inside the bunkers. The bunkers are maintained how many days a week?
Usually on a daily basis. And if the rakes are now going to be left inside the bunkers, again, that means when we come out, we have to take them all out of the bunkers, rake the bunker with a mechanical rake, a sand trap rake, and then replace the rakes. If they're left outside, it is actually easier for us because then we don't really have to touch them. But I think in the last 2 years when we've gone back to leaving the rakes outside the bunkers, they get left kind of haphazardly, and I don't think it's a very uniform look. If they're left inside the bunkers, then I think it's much more attractive.
Right. We have had some issues with where the rakes are left, and so, for example, in this particular bunker here, we're on hole number 4. Sometimes we find rakes positioned, for example, right in front on the side of the bunker, and that's not a position that you generally want to leave the rake, and that's where you have the issues where a ball may be deflected from going into the bunker by a rake. Um, there are occasions also where we find that the rakes, for example, might have 2 rakes on this particular bunker, and so a player comes up and his ball is in this side of the bunker here, and both rakes are located over there. So that presents a little bit of a delay issue for some of the players. So positioning the rakes is always a bit of an issue, and if they're in the bunker, it's a little easier to spot them and a little easier to visually see where those rakes are, and it's easier for the player to put them back in the right spot. John, where should the rakes be placed inside the bunker?
You would like to, I would think, try to keep them as close to the edge as you could, as long as it was on, excuse me, level ground. I don't think you want to leave them like you were pointing out on a slope, because then when you go to, you're going to have to move the rake, the ball is going to move, so then you're going to run into some issues. If you leave it in the flat part of the bunker, the chances of a ball coming to rest against it, I think, are much, much less.
Right. So in this particular instance, we would want to have the rakes positioned probably right in this area of the bunker here.
2.
All right, so now we've decided that for Manchester Country Club going forward, the rakes are going to in fact be inside the bunkers this year. And again, John's going to put stickers on there to remind us all that we're going to put rakes inside the bunkers. And let's just, we're going to have a professional demonstration here by an experienced groundskeeper superintendent to show us how to properly rake a bunker. Go ahead, John. I'm going to walk in here and make some footprint. I like to dig in.
I'm going to use the longer handle curve style because it's much easier on my bag. Now, if this was me, I would rake my way outside the bunker, and then I would just place the rake back in a nice flat area on the bunker.
So as far as entering and exiting the bunker, let's say for example, John, my ball was on the other side. How would I enter from that side, or would I enter from this side?
Well, I would think that if you were going to properly care for the bunker, you would come around the bunker because you wouldn't want to enter, walk all the way across it, not only to hit your shot, but to find a rake. Then you've got to rake all that back. So I would walk around the bunker to closest proximity to a rake, take the rake with me, go and hit my shot, and rake my way back out of it. We find too many people walking up the faces of the bunkers, and that leads to a lot of damage. You know, the faces of them are very fragile. We try to keep the guys off from the edges of the bunkers when they're raking them or mowing them, so people walking and exiting up through or entering